I stand with her because she was not lying. Now, you feel offended for the truth. That's a personal problem. But she was not lying about anything. What happened? Us Latinos, we cannot speak our minds and say what we think when everything that she say is something that you guys repeat all the time.
Might have to drop a dime on this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
Alright, so in this video, y'all, we're going over how the Latino community feel about Gonzalez getting fired. So y'all seen I had the watermelon head dude in the front who was standing with Gonzalez, okay? I had somebody on my live yesterday, they felt that they were black and they felt that she shouldn't have been fired. So it's just crazy how this proximity to whiteness is affecting a lot of people, in my opinion. But I want to know what y'all think about this in the comment section. You got people on both sides, but let me know how you feel.
This Ashley Gonzalez situation is bringing to light just how a lot of Latinos feel about black people.
Ashley Gonzalez is a prime example of what happens when you don't speak up. When you don't say or stop someone from making racist comments, from doing these things that are harming other people.
Unfortunately, Ashley Gonzalez does represent the Hispanic community. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing Hispanic people, Latino people getting into comment sections talking about, no, she doesn't represent us. We love all people. No, if you go to Texas, if you go to California, there are a lot of Hispanic people that love saying that N-word, hard ER.
Gonzalez said was extremely racist and is extremely wrong.
I'm sorry, as a Mexican American, it's crazy how it's still racism in this world. And I just want to say, she doesn't represent me or the Hispanic community.
In growing up in the Hispanic community, amongst Latinos in Texas, I noticed that a lot of them love to turn a blind eye to a lot of things. When it's convenient, they might sit there and be like, oh, we don't stand for that. That isn't a representative of our community, blah, 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 blah. No, Ashley Gonzalez was a woman who was emboldened by her community. She went this long unchecked. A lot of Mexicans, a lot of Latinos don't know the difference between racism and prejudice. Sure, there are many people of color in many communities all over the world who are prejudiced. The systemic racism enacted towards all of us, especially Black Americans in America, in the United States, is something to be said and talked about, especially when many non-Black communities of color love to utilize that proximity to whiteness to inflict oppression upon Black people. Ashley Gonzalez literally got into the police force, and I think from what I saw in that video, she was describing how she was utilizing her position of power to inflict harm on a Black person, right? Unfortunately, when you grow up to be an adult, you represent a lot of things. You represent your parents, you represent your family name, you represent your community, you represent the job you're tied to. You're a representative of something. If those entities, institutions, family units let you go that long with that behavior to where it then got publicized, that is a representative of all those entities, those communities, those institutions. It is a failing on all of those things. I'm so sick of so many non-Black communities of color, even, I'm sure, even in the Black community. There's a lot of colorism. There's a lot of behaviors that everybody just sees, many vile things that are said behind closed doors and nobody checks it. The influential people don't check it. The leaders of the communities don't check it. They'll sit there and go, well, nobody that those horrid statements are made about are here, so we're just not gonna say anything. Like, I don't need to say anything. It's okay. They're not gonna say that in real life, like in public, they're not. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to check it. But then things happen like this. Ashley Gonzalez is a representative of her community because it's her community, our community, that lets these people go unchecked for far too long with their racism. Ashley Gonzalez, a lot of the times, these Hispanic people genuinely believe that acting like this gives them proximity to whiteness. You are never going to be accepted as a white person. You are never going to be welcomed into the white community, into institutions of power. Entities that have power, like the police force, like the military, like certain groups of white people, they literally welcome you in just to use your dumb ass. But too many of y'all genuinely believe that it makes you different than other people within your own community, different than Black people. It doesn't. We are all one. And just because some of you decide to dip your toes, tap into, hell, some of y'all dive deep into oppressive tactics in order to try to differentiate yourself, it doesn't. It's all in vain. And then you enact harm on others while doing it and trying all that shit out. Ashley Gonzalez is a representative of the Hispanic community. She's representative of a community that let her go unchecked up until now. And even now, y'all aren't checking her. You're just ostracizing her. Oh, we don't claim her. Oh, she's not a part of us.
Ashley Gonzalez is a representative of a very real issue that exists within the Latino community, and that is anti-blackness. There is no denying that, respective to the history in Latino America, there has been a history of anti-blackness, and you can look at respective nations, whether it's Mexico, Argentina, look at the caste systems that were created, and it was descendants of Africans, Black people, that were always at the bottom of the social class. Those social classes were organized by this pseudoscience of a racialized hierarchy, and part of that is because the Latino identity, it's inherently anti-Black, and it's anti-indigenous. It is an identity that is built on the erasure of those two groups and saying things like, oh, well, I don't claim them. Like, I'm very happy that you're not like that. However, I believe that you cannot accept an identity like the Latino identity without acknowledging both the good and the bad. And a lot of that bad is this normalized anti-Blackness that we see across all countries in Latino America. And these are ideas that have influenced the culture, which is why you also have ideas like mejorando la raza. Something that I've been saying is that anti-Blackness and Latinos aiming for whiteness is not something new to Latinos here in the U.S. It is also an idea that they bring with them when they come here to the U.S. because if you look at the history of the respective Latino country, you're going to find that there has been a history of anti-Blackness, and it happens to get reinforced here in the U.S. So instead of saying, well, I don't claim them, I think it's very important to call that person out.
I live in Houston, so I see all of the news outlets reporting on it and everything, and you should see them in the comments defending this. But it's a no-brainer that they don't like us when they don't even like their own people. They don't even like dark-skinned Mexicans. I've seen 100 videos of Latino people talking about how since they was darker, they got treated horrible by their family when they was younger. One girl talked about how her grandma used to not let her go outside because she didn't want her to get darker. A long time ago, it was a conversation going on about the difference between California Mexicans and Texas Mexicans. And they was talking about how Texas Mexicans want to be white. Hell, 60% of Hispanics in the United States voted for Trump. Way over half. And obviously, I know she don't speak for the whole community. We all probably know Hispanics that's not racist. Just like we know white people that's not racist. But clearly, racism is a problem in their community.
But it's true. Like the evidence is right in front of your face. So what we need to do is ask ourselves, why do we continue to let this mindset run rampant in our community? We need to take accountability, and we need to teach our children better. We need to better ourselves. Otherwise, things are never going to change. But let's be honest, it's quite enough of us. And we see it. I understand that a lot of us have the mindset of it's not us, and it's not us, it's the majority. But enough of us do have that mindset. Let's not forget, the Latino community in itself has a lot of colorism and racism within itself alone. And we don't call each other out enough. And we need to start. And instead of thinking of a mindset of oh shit, if what came to your mind at first when you saw that video immediately was like, not me. I didn't say the word though. Instead of going like, damn. I am very worried for the victims, the black people that this woman has ever arrested, because she abused her power. There is no doubt in my mind that she probably arrested some people just because they were black. And you know what? When they tell you that sometimes a lot of Hispanic think that they are like proximity to whiteness makes them better than black people, and we like to be defensive about it.
Gonzalez said was extremely racist and is extremely wrong.
I'm sorry, as a Mexican American, it's crazy how it's still racism in this world. And I just want to say, she doesn't represent me or the Hispanic community.
We are in 2026. Who gives a shit if you used to be a slave? That's nobody's problem, not even yours. If your ancestors was this or that, Spanish, Latin people, ancestors, we also been enslaved. We've been taken out of our lands, and we fight too. You're not special. You're not better than nobody else. Don't be a fucking hypocrite, all right? I stand with Gonzalez, and she don't deserve to lose her job or nothing, because people are weaponizing something they use every day, but nobody else can use it.
She is a part of us. A lot of y'all do the same things behind closed doors.
She does represent a lot of the colorism that exists within our community and that is not talked about.
As someone who grew up in the Bay Area and is very familiar with the Hispanic community, Ashley Gonzalez is very on the money for the representation of the Latino and Hispanic community.
It makes me so sad that there's people that still exist like that, and people, Latinas like her, that make all of us look bad, and it sucks. And because the truth is, she does represent Latinos. She is Latina, and just because she said something that we don't agree with, that we all know is wrong, that doesn't align with where we want to be in the world, it doesn't take away that she's Latina. She gained those thoughts from other Latinos that were around her, and we need to stop being blind to the fact that our Latino culture has a lot of racist tendencies in it. We are extremely colorist. We have all, like, I myself have grown up with this idea that being a darker skin tone is bad. We grow up, like, literally praising babies that come out white looking or having Eurocentric features. Like, we cannot be blind to these things.
We do not support this kind of behavior, and this message is to all the Hispanics out there. Just because you hear the N-word being said and you get a pass, do not say that. This allows other Mexicans and other Hispanics proximity, and people like her are using it in the wrong context and in the wrong way, and this is not us.
Before any Latinos or Hispanics get in my comments about, oh, it's not all of us and it's not, yeah, I know it's not all of you. That's like, you know, I know I'm Latina and I know it's not me, you know what I mean? But at the same time, we need to hold our people accountable. I live in Texas, okay? It's undeniable. It's undeniable. You come here to Texas, Latinos are using the word left and right, and I mean hard ER. And they say a lot of ignorant things about black people. They disrespect black people, all while trying to be black most of the time. I feel like here in the United States, we associate blackness with coolness, and a lot of Latinos that are not black, because there is black Latinos, but there's a lot of non-black Latinos and non-black Hispanic people that try to be a part of black culture and black community without actually liking black people. I think this actually comes from being in a system here in the United States that only recognizes black and white, okay? We don't ever really recognize Latino people or Hispanic people. Therefore, we're left with so many questions about who we actually are, what we represent. We're left with so much ambiguity on what being Latino or being Hispanic actually is, because it's not a race. My family specifically is multicultural, multiracial. I grew up being very confused about my identity, I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of the problems I had came from the Latino community. The colorism, the racism, the, you know, even just the classism in the Latino community is crazy. We often forget that black Latinos even exist. And some of us have family members or friends who are black Latinos and deny their African ancestry. Again, I understand that not all Latinos and Hispanics are racist, but let's look at the stats. Let's look at the data. All the people that voted for Trump this year, a majority, it was overwhelmingly Latino people that voted for Trump. And if you're Latino and you're trying to deny any of this, oh, I never grew up with that, I really want you to think about things you might have been told as a child. If you had the nickname Güerita or Morenita or Negrita, I really want you to think of why the Latino community obsesses so much over skin color. Why does it matter if you're morenita or morenita clara or negrita? Why does it matter? I think we all need to question too, like why so many tios, tias, abuelos would tell us shit like, oh, don't go outside for too long, you don't want to be black, right? Oh, you shouldn't date black guys, you're too pretty for it, N-word, hard R. I need you guys to please stop acting oblivious. Like, stop acting like this is not a real problem in our community.
There is no denying that, respective to the history in Latino America, there has been a history of anti-blackness, and you can look at respective nations, whether it's Mexico, Argentina, look at the caste systems that were created, and it was descendants of Africans, black people, that were always at the bottom of the social class. Those social classes were organized by this pseudoscience of a racialized hierarchy, and part of that is because the Latino identity, it's inherently anti-black and it's anti-indigenous. It is an identity that is built on the erasure of those two groups and saying things like, oh, well, I don't claim them. Like, I'm very happy that you're not like that. However, I believe that you cannot accept an identity like the Latino identity without acknowledging both the good and the bad. Something that I've been saying is that anti-blackness and Latinos aiming for whiteness is not something new to Latinos here in the U.S. It is also an idea that they bring with them when they come here to the U.S. because if you look at the history of the respective Latino country, you're going to find that there has been a history of anti-blackness, and it happens to get reinforced here in the U.S. So instead of saying, well, I don't claim them, I think it's very important to call that person out or call them in, because you cannot begin to deconstruct the Latino identity without accepting that there is inherent in it anti-blackness. But go ahead and let me know what you think.
We are in 2026. Who gives a shit if you used to be a slave? That's nobody's problem, not even yours. If your ancestors was this or that, Spanish, Latin people, ancestors, we also been a slave. We've been take out of our lands, and we fight too. You're not special. You're not better than nobody else. Don't be a fucking hypocrite, all right? I stand with Gonzalez, and she don't deserve to lose her job or nothing because people are weaponizing something they use every day, but nobody else can use it.
And baby, you can't say nothing to me by Ashley Gonzalez, because remember y'all said they could say it. Remember? It's black and brown unity. Right. And she unified both words, the E-R and the A. She said them both together. They can hold hands. And she said it how she been saying it. At home, in the office, at the table with her abuela. She said it how she been saying it. Right. The unity. U-N-I-T-Y. Because y'all be letting shit slide. See, me, I don't let nothing slide. This ain't no ice skating rink. But y'all be easy out there. And remember, it's just words when it's us. But when it's other people, I'm going to see if you can sit at the table with their mom and say a few choice words. I'll write something down for you. I bet you can't say them. I bet you can't. Because it's just words when it's us. But when it's everybody else, words matter. Right. I'm just saying. Hey, y'all be easy.
Ashley Gonzalez is a exact representation of the Latino community. They're being taught that in their household. And I live in Miami amongst the Cubans, the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, where we get this type of energy on a day-to-day basis. Like what have we done as a collective to make every race on the planet hate us? I want to know. Please, can y'all get in the comments? I'm talking about white, Hispanics, Chinese, Indian, whatever race you are. Please get in the comments and tell us, what have black people done that makes y'all hate us so much? I really would like to know. I would genuinely love to know. Even though I'm a black that minds my business, like majority of black people do, we mind our business. But for this particular reason, I'm not minding my business. I want to know. I really want to know.
Have you noticed that the overwhelming majority of people speaking out against this are African American? Where are all my Hispanic and Latino people at? For some reason, as a whole, we seem to be oddly quiet about it. Could it be that the person in the hot seat looks a little bit like you and me? Is that why in your silence you're trying to distance yourself from it? Or could it be that maybe, just maybe, you feel as though if you speak out on it, you will be seen as just another inward lover? Oh, the shit just got real, didn't it? Now, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. This racist individual was in a position of power, in a position of authority over the very people she had animosity towards. Now, let me talk to you from experience. You see these scars here? These scars were given to me in 1985 by a racist police officer who, while stomping on my head and beating me unconscious, kicking teeth out of my mouth, told me before I lost consciousness that a Mexican ain't nothing but a light-complected N-word. So you see, I have a little experience with this issue. That experience has left a chip on my shoulder with regards to this issue. See, what you need to understand is that to these folks, the difference between a Mexican and an African American is the difference between 1-ply and 2-ply toilet paper. You might prefer one over the other. You might think one is better than the other. But at the end of the day, if push comes to shove, these folks are simply going to wipe their ass with the both of you. Now, I know race is sometimes a factor, but stop making it solely about race and start making it about principle. Now, I said all that to say this. A righteous person will stand up against unrighteous acts, regardless of who those acts affect. A just person will stand up against injustice, regardless of whether or not that injustice affects them particularly. It's that simple. Now, maybe I'm just old school because I come from a different generation. But coming from that generation, I'm just here to say this. Your silence on this issue speaks volumes. Your silence says more about you than words ever could.
Ashley Gonzalez is a representation of the Latino community. If you don't agree with that, then start asking it. Because we're over here on comments talking about not me. Okay, then speak it, right? When there's problematic anti-black people around you, whether that's your family or friends or people around you, say something. You don't. You don't because it's uncomfortable. You don't because you don't want to burn bridges. You don't because you don't want to be disowned. You don't want to rock the boat. And maybe it's because you yourself understand that when someone who you know says something that's anti-black, it's not really anti-black because it's meant out of love. When you call a Latino who is much more darker skinned, prieto, prieta, darky, dark girl, dark boy, that in itself propagates anti-blackness.
All right, fam, let me know what y'all think about this. I put some videos on here of people that was wanting the Latino community to step up, start holding people accountable. And you got some of them that was standing with Gonzalez. So I want to know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Y'all know we go live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. I appreciate y'all, man. You're all of my supporters, everybody who's been supporting the channel. I love and appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace and love.
A community must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.